And we'll have another bounce here at half forward. Cats into attack. Collingwood by 9.
One thing I'd like to see a little bit more from Ottens, and maybe they're going to be hamstrung now with Podsiadly off, is just to try and stream forward and get Jolly running around as a defender for moments, because he's not going to be comfortable doing that. He looks capable of wrestling and just standing there, but not so keen to run.
Christensen bangs it inside 50.
Das, what do you make of the tackle count? 46 for Collingwood, 24 to Geelong. Anything in that, or is it an irrelevant stat?
Yeah, it just seems to be not really pertinent to the way the game's being played. It's a lot more free-flowing a game, though, Lordy, than I predicted. There's space out there that I didn't think we'd see.
Ball got the clearance to Swan, who put it out of bounds on the full. So just outside 50, Geelong have the football. It's Corey. Wasn't much of a kick. Is it a mark or... What's happened here? Now we've got a bounce in the forward pocket.
And that is an element of where just going to confer here. We'll listen to the umpires.
He's paid the mark. Is it the umpire or not? The boundary umpire?
It should have been. And Sean Ryan, the umpire, had no idea. So he's just called a ball up.
Okay. He went to the boundary umpire, but didn't get the clearest indication. So the Cats got it deep in their forward line. Now, Jolly, did that go out on the full? It did. He tapped it over on the full.
And this is a huge moment because
Jimmy Bartell,
the free kick was paid, or the ball up was paid because the umpire was blindsided. So huge ramifications here. The Cats get a chance at a goal that wouldn't have been taken otherwise.
This is almost the Geelong style of kicking. This one, is it? Stevie J's mastered it. The Pod loves to kick him. Run out on your right, snap it around and get the curve going.
There's big moments in grand finals and the ball was in the hands of the right man, Jimmy Bartell. It's back to a three-point ball game, and that's why this team has been so great, because they have great leaders. They have men that step up when they need to step up. Das, it's back to 3 points.
Appropriate sign in the crowd there. Jimmy Bartell, you superstar. You've got to love, admire and respect the skill level of the modern player. That is, on grand final day, around your body, no margin for error in that kick. If you hit it on the wrong side of the foot, it goes out of bounds on the full. You look like a goose. Big play. Let's go back and have a look at that. Ruck free kick. If you hit it out of bounds on the full from the ruck situation, free kick to the Cats.
So just when we sensed the Cats might have been a spot of bother, they have responded, as great teams do. It's a 3-point ball game. Here's Swan, who controversially wasn't awarded that mark. Ling kicks. Varco does the spalling against Davis. Selwood kicked 2 goals in the match so far to Varco. And Varco's got the mark at half forward. Travis Varco, not the best of kicks, setting himself as Jolly. Easy pickings for him.
Mitch Duncan got to be stronger in that contest. Needed to get the ball to ground.
Once again, though, that's the contest Podsiadly makes every single time. He's not going to take any further part in the game. They will miss him.
Heath Shaw playing the game on his terms with a couple of bounces, and Dale Thomas helps him out. Now that kick went about 40 metres high and 30 metres wide, out to the wing, gathered by Taylor. He's back on the ground, but sends it straight to Thomas. I was going to say Duncan did well not to give away the free, but I think he did interfere. So the free goes to Dale Thomas, despite the perplexed look on the face of Mitch Duncan, who's entered the game early due to the injury of James Podsiadly. Thomas took something off the kick, finds Wellingham. So you talked about Geelong being happy to get to half-time. 15 points down. Now they're only 3 down, and it's Collingwood that's taking the sting out of it just for the moment. Back to Reid, and O'Brien is the next link. Now they've got a man out in Pendlebury. It took a while to get it to him, and the Cats have covered most of the bases. So inch by inch to half-back to Davis, and then O'Brien. O'Brien trusting the left boot. Side bottom with Wojcinski. Geelong with the extra numbers, and they can use it. Enright, prudent handball. Selwood to Wojcinski, puffed out the cheeks. Tried to get through. And it's over and out once again.
12 disposals to Scott Pendlebury this quarter, 19 for the match.
Just about to make that very point, because I haven't seen Cameron Ling with a real lockdown hard tag, and I think it might be time that he had a good look at Scotty Pendlebury.
Johnson forced to release the ball. Bartell, nice little give to Christensen. Kicks in the west direction. Here's Stokes, nothing on offer. So he's just got to blaze away in the end. He had no option, and he's put it out of bounds on the full.
As good as Pendlebury's been, Joel Selwood when I thought they were in trouble, he has risen to the occasion. 8 disposals and 3 inside 50s and a goal. He's kept them in it.
And his 8 contested possessions in the game. Pretty significant stat in a match like this. So the ball just bouncing there from the Swan kick. 40 seconds left to play in the first half. Much more high scoring than we expected. There's been the drama of injuries. Cats already made their sub. West against Brown, who had the last say. It was a good say too to Sidebottom and Johnson. He knew he wanted to get to the left side, Mackie. And again goes Mackie. And the ball is over and out. And we can't wait for the second half already.
Big play, Andrew Mackie. The Collingwood spread for the contest is just something that they are better at than any other team. And the ability to close them down from Geelong is going to be so important if they are to win this game.
Gee, West propelled himself high to get the tap down. Tuvey, no release. Varco, the numbers with Collingwood. Shaw gave it to Reid. Left it behind. Hawkins. Varco. This is good progression. Not a great handball. If anyone can find it here, it's Johnson. Reid. Sold his teammate into all sorts of trouble. Ling. Selwood. Johnson. O'Brien. There's heroes everywhere. Stokes keeps it in, and the siren sounds, and a collective gasp around the MCG about what we've seen and about what we might see, boys, in the second half.
Now, these two teams finished 1 and 2 for the very reason we've seen in this first half. It's all about momentum. Collingwood, we thought they'd take it away, they didn't, and Geelong back in this game, and it's anyone's game, Hutto, after half-time.
So it's Collingwood by 3 points at half-time in the grand final of 2011.
Fuji looks better in slow motion. It makes me want to kick a top and take a massive like Warwick Kappa. His shorts are so tight, shorts so tight. My God, so tight.
So many moments already, and we're only at half-time. Collingwood lead by 3 points. 9-3-57. Cloak and Cracker 3 goals each. Steve Johnson, Selwood and Varco with 2 goals each. So Collingwood by 3 at half-time in the AFL Grand Final for 2011. Down to Mark Howard, the story of Geelong's injuries. Howie?
Indeed, they came down to the rooms, the Cats, Hutto. They looked like they were walking wounded. Obviously, the big one, James Podsadley, halfway through that second quarter, he went up in a marking contest. The shoulder popped out, and they couldn't get it back in. That was the main issue for Podsadley. He was taken off the ground, still struggling to get that shoulder in. He has been subbed out of the game. Mitch Duncan into the side. The second concern, Harry Taylor. He was in a very, very heavy blow with Leon Davis. Spent about 5 minutes on the bench, but as he came down the rooms, he was encouraging his teammates. So I don't think there'd be too many concerns about Harry Taylor. And Cameron Ling, that was a gruesome one. His nose whacked straight into the back of an opposition player's head, and as he was coming down the rooms, he was taking the red bloodied cotton balls out of his nose, which was a little bit gruesome. But Stevie Johnson, he was the one pumping the boys up, and his message to his teammates were, boys, we know it's going to take 4 quarters, but we will crack them. Andy Marr.
All quiet over here, Howie. Not the drama in the Collingwood rooms that you've been studying over there at Geelong. The only minor concern is going to be Luke Ball at half-time. We saw him get that cork halfway through that second quarter. They're going to make sure that'll stay warm. They'll keep him moving around in the half-time break to make sure that that doesn't stiffen up, tighten up, and he'll be right to take his place in the second half. Reid and Jolly have got through that first half absolutely magnificently, so no problems down here, Hutto.
Thank you, Murray. So all good for Collingwood, but obviously a massive loss for the Cats with James Podsadley. Our experts, Michael Voss, Robert Walls and Malcolm Blight, join us. The impact of the loss of Podsadley on this game, Blighty?
Probably won't know. Ironically, after he went off, Geelong started kicking some goals. I mean, they've got it really forced through the midfield. Selwood, Bartell, Kelly really just forced the ball forward.
And in that first half, Geelong just bombing the ball into their forward line, Hutto, so it wasn't as if he was a positive target for them. I just think those last couple of goals before half-time, Selwood and Stevie J has just given them confidence to get back into it.
Well, one of them a little controversial because was this a mark, first of all, to Dane Swan?
Certainly looked like it.
Wasn't paid, and as a result, from the ball up, Jolly hits it.
It's a bit unfair, isn't it? That's not deliberate. Yeah.
Just goes out in the full. If it goes over on the full, it is automatically out of bounds. And then that goal from Bartell. Vossi, you wanted to make a point about Geelong's forward setup and Steve Johnson's goal.
Yeah, well, there is some vision, certainly in the first quarter. Collingwood are choosing to play pretty much 6 ahead of the ball at stoppages, and what it's doing is it's creating space around the stoppage and certainly behind the stoppage in Geelong's forward half, and it's creating opportunities like this. It's pretty much happened right throughout the whole first half. What you can't see is that the Collingwood players are remaining to stay out of that stoppage. It's creating the ground really long, which is making it that midfield battle. Yeah. Whoever's getting on top in that midfield battle at the moment, that's who's scoring.
Pendlebury with 20 goes at it, though. It's probably too many, isn't it?
It's a lot.
Scarlett's always important. He started well, Wolsey, but once Lee Brown went onto him, he certainly restricted his influence and became a dangerous man himself, didn't he?
Well, he started on Alan Didak, and that really didn't work. Scarlett got on top of him early, and then they put Lee Brown down there, and it just means that Scarlett has to show him some respect. And a couple of marking contests, Lee Brown was really strong. We see there, it doesn't let Scarlett get at the footy, causes the spill. Hunt goes up, 2 against 1. Cracker stays down, able to snap the goal. So Lee Brown really helpful there, and he's tackling also for a big fella. You'll see him run down Corey Enright. It really wasn't a free kick. Umpire paid a free kick. That came off the side of his boot, but they're the breaks that you get.
Just really quick, which way is it going to go? Vossi, which way if you had to call it?
Oh, I think it's absolutely still flip of the coin. I think they both had their patches. If anything, it's pretty level when each side's had momentum.
All right, we need to take a break. Of course, one of the time-honoured events is the Grand Final Sprint, and the Gillette Fusion Pro Glide Sprint is coming up after the break to be called by the one and only Peter Donny.
It's time for an AFL Grand Final tradition. At half-time here, it is Collingwood 3 points in front of the Cats. But at half-time of every Grand Final, we have the famous sprint. And it's the Gillette Fusion Pro Glide Sprint. Let's have a look at the starting list for the final. Williams from the Hawks, Jetta from the Swans, Rounds from the Magpies, Dangerfield from the Crows, Golds from the Giants, Wilkinson for the Gold Coast Suns, Brennan from the Eagles, Simpson from the Cats, and Rich from the Lions. Calling all the action is a man named Peter Donegan. He's extra excited today because he's a Collingwood man. In fact, he's just a great man. PD, it's all yours.
Thank you very much, Stephen. And here we go with the Gillette Fusion Pro Glide AFL Grand Final Sprint of 2011. 20 years of age, Jordan Williams representing Hawthorn, the boy from Echuca. Next to him, Lewis Jetta, who kicked 19 behinds before he kicked a goal in his AFL career. He's looking to kick 8 more here today. Luke Rounds representing the Magpies. Made his debut this year. Patrick Dangerfield, the 21-year-old from Adelaide. Last time he was at the MCG, he finished up with concussion. Tim Golds ran in the final here last year, representing the GWS Giants. The speedster, the 19-year-old Joel Wilkinson from the Gold Coast Suns. Nigerian-born, and they've got a history of sprinting tradition. Jacob Brennan, the son of former West Coast Eagles vice-captain Michael Brennan, represents the Eagles. Dawson Simpson, the lane's only just big enough to fit him in. 206 centimetres, 109 kilos. And beside him, Jake Melksham, 20 years of age, played all 23 games this year. So there's the lineup for the 2011 Gillette Fusion Pro Glide AFL Grand Final Sprint. Who's going to be the fastest man on the big stage? Careful, Dawson. Off they go. Dangerfield got a very good start through the middle. He's the early leader from Wilkinson. Gold's trying to come through. Dangerfield's got it at the moment. Rounds can't make any impression. And Patrick Dangerfield runs away and wins it easily. Gold's second, tight for third between Wilkinson and Jetta. But Patrick Dangerfield straight out of the blocks. And the boy from Anglesey goes on to win comfortably. As we take a look at the replay, he commanded the race from the word go. Young Tim Golds from Greater Western Sydney, running on really well into second placing as he did last year. Luke Brown's just a little hiccup towards the end there, but Patrick Dangerfield is the winner, the 21-year-old, and here he is with Michael Christian.
Paddy, well done, mate. Congratulations to the fastest man in the AFL.
Thanks, Chriso.
Now, how confident, mate? You smashed them in the heats. How confident were you going in?
Well, I've done a bit of training with Brad Johnson and Matthew Richardson, so they've helped me out.
Now, you've got a new coach this year. Lots of excitement at Adelaide?
Yeah, there is. I caught up with him last week and he went through a few plans which he plans to implement, and the future looks pretty bright.
Now, you're from the Geelong region, mate. What do you make of the game today? Who do you think might end up on top?
Yeah, it's been a close one, but I hope the Cats can run over the top of them at the end.
Mate, good luck for next year and well done. $5,000, Richard, his $5,000 cheque from Mary Ann from Gillette. Congratulations, mate. Patrick Dangerfield, ladies and gentlemen, back to Peter Donegan.
Thank you, Michael. Well done to the Adelaide Crows and to Patrick Dangerfield, going quicker than Stephen Quartermain's drink cards in his heyday. And Quarters, as I come back to you, mate, congratulations on 10 magnificent years.
Thanks to my good friend Peter Donegan. I'll pay you back later. Well, for those of you old enough to remember, Young Talent Time was an iconic Australian show. It created stars like Redfern, Byrne, Minogue and Arena, and it is back in 2012. And the new star of the show is going to be Rob Mills, and he's with the old star of the show in Johnny Young. They're at auditions in Sydney. I say good afternoon to you, gentlemen. If you had any chance at all to watch any of the game or you're busy auditioning.
Hi, Quarters.
Hey, Quarters. We are so excited because we've been watching the footy and watching your fantastic call, and it's so close. And you know, we've had almost 100,000 people here to audition for Young Talent Time.
It's been fantastic, Quarters. And let's be honest, we are in Sydney. These are just props. These kids don't know Collingwood or Geelong. Let's be honest. But they're having a good time, and they're here just to audition. And we have had the game on, and I've been trying to sneak away. What a cracking game it's been.
It sure has. Can I ask you a quick question, boys? How different is the new show going to be like to the old show?
Well, it's going to be 2012, Quarters. You know, we've got a new host.
Yeah.
And the kids love him, don't you, guys?
Well, I think we're sticking to the same format, Quarters, as the old show. We're going to have a young talent team, and also we're going to have a talent quest part of the show as well.
And are we going to unearth a new superstar or two? Are we going to unearth a new superstar?
Well, we found a new superstar. He's the new host, Rob Mills. What more do you want?
Well, definitely. We've travelled the country over the last 2 weeks. We've been right in the country. We're now finishing up here in Sydney, and yeah, definitely, mate. We're going to find some talent that's going to shock everybody.
Rob and John,
we're just going to take a break.
Thank you for your time, guys. Enjoy the rest of the auditions and enjoy the rest of the grand final of 2011. We're going to take another break from the MCG. It is the Magpies in front of the Cats by just 3 points.